In the heart of the forest, where the trees stand tall and the shadows dance in the moonlight, there lies a place shrouded in mystery, the Whispering Woods. Legend has it that those who wander into these woods hear voices, whispers from the beyond that beckon them deeper into the darkness. Many have entered, but few have returned. One moonlit night, a brave soul ventured into the Whispering Woods, determined to uncover the truth. As they walked, the trees seemed to lean closer, their branches twisting into grotesque shapes. Suddenly the whispers began, faint at first, then growing louder with each step. The air grew cold, and the forest floor seemed to come alive with unseen eyes watching. Panic set in as the whispers turned into sinister laughter, echoing through the trees. The brave soul ran, desperate to escape the grasp of the forest grasp. But as they stumbled out of the woods, breathless and terrified, they realized they had brought something back with them, the lingering sensation that they were never truly alone, even in the safety of daylight. The Whispering Woods had claimed another victim, leaving only a chilling tale of terror in its wake. And so the legend lives on, a warning to all who dare to tread where the whispers linger in the darkness. In an old, decrepit mansion nestled deep within the woods, there hung a mirror unlike any other. Its glass was cracked, its frame tarnished with age, but its reflection held a sinister secret. Legend whispered of a curse upon the mirror, a curse that trapped souls within its depths, condemning them to an eternity of torment. One fateful night, a curious young woman stumbled upon the mansion and its forbidden mirror. Ignoring the warnings of locals, she approached, drawn by an inexplicable force. As she gazed into the mirror's murky depths, she saw not her own reflection, but a twisted version of herself, a specter trapped in eternal anguish. Terrified, she tried to turn away, but the mirror held her gaze captive, pulling her deeper into its cursed embrace. Suddenly, the room grew cold, and the mirror's surface rippled like water. Ghostly hands reached out, grasping for her, their silent screams echoing in her ears. With a desperate cry, she tore herself away, fleeing the mansion as if pursued by demons. But as she stumbled into the moonlit forest, she felt a presence behind her, the chill of the mirror's curse lingering on her skin. From that day forth, she was never the same, haunted by the memory of the mirror's reflection and the darkness that lurked within its depths. And so, the legend of the cursed mirror lived on, a warning to all who dare to seek what lies beyond the glass. In a forgotten attic of an old Victorian house, a dusty box lay untouched for years. Inside, nestled amongst cobwebs and forgotten memories, was a doll unlike any other. With porcelain skin and glassy eyes, the doll exuded an eerie aura that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to glance its way. One stormy night, a young girl stumbled upon the attic and discovered the box. Ignoring the warnings of her grandmother, she reached out and lifted the doll from its slumber. As lightning flashed and thunder roared outside, the doll's eyes seemed to flicker with life. Its lips parted in a silent scream, and a cold chill filled the air. Terrified, the girl tried to return the doll to its box, but its porcelain fingers refused to let go. With each passing moment, the doll's grip grew tighter, its expression twisting into one of malice. Desperate to escape, the girl cried out for help, but her voice was drowned out by the howling wind. Just when all hope seemed lost, a sudden gust of wind blew open the attic window, sending moonlight streaming into the room. In that brief moment of illumination, the doll's grip faltered, and the girl broke free. Gasping for breath, she fled the attic, leaving the doll behind in the darkness. But as she descended the creaky stairs to safety, she couldn't shake the feeling of icy fingers closing around her neck, or the haunting whisper that echoed in her mind, "I will never be forgotten." In an antique shop tucked away in a forgotten corner of the city, there hung a photograph that captured more than just memories. It held a sinister secret waiting to be unleashed. A young couple, drawn by the allure of vintage treasures, stumbled upon the shop one rainy afternoon. Amongst the dusty relics, they found the photograph, a portrait of a family from a bygone era, their faces frozen in time. But as they admired the picture, they noticed something unsettling. A figure lurking in the background, obscured by shadows, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent glow. Ignoring the warning signs, the couple purchased the photograph and hung it in their home, unaware of the darkness it would unleash. That night, strange occurrences began. Whispers in the darkness, objects moving on their own, and a sense of dread that hung heavy in the air. As the days passed, the figure in the photograph seemed to grow stronger, its presence haunting the couple's every waking moment. Desperate for answers, they sought the help of a paranormal investigator who uncovered the chilling truth. The figure in the photograph was a vengeful spirit, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. With no other choice, the couple destroyed the photograph, hoping to banish the spirit once and for all. But as they watched the flames consume the picture, they knew that some secrets were meant to remain buried and that the darkness would always find a way to return. In the dead of night, when the world sleeps and silence reigns, there comes a chilling sound, the ringing of an old telephone, echoing through an empty house. Sarah, a young woman living alone in a remote cottage, became accustomed to the midnight calls. At first, she dismissed them as wrong numbers or pranks. But as the calls persisted, they took on a sinister tone. Each night, at the stroke of midnight, the phone would ring. Sarah would answer only to be met with silence on the other end. No voice, no breathing, just an eerie void. Fear gnawed at her sanity as the calls grew more frequent, each one lasting longer than the last. Desperate for answers, she contacted the phone company, but they found no explanation for the mysterious calls. One fateful night, driven by curiosity and dread, Sarah decided to trace the calls back to their source. With trembling hands, she followed the ringing to the dusty attic, where an old rotary phone lay forgotten in the darkness. As she reached out to answer, the ringing ceased, replaced by a low guttural growl emanating from the shadows. Paralyzed with fear, Sarah watched in horror as the phone levitated into the air, its receiver swinging wildly. In that moment, she knew she was not alone. Something sinister lurked in the darkness, reaching out from beyond the grave. With a blood-curdling scream, Sarah fled the attic, leaving the phone behind in the suffocating silence. But even now, as she sleeps fitfully in her bed, she can hear the faint echo of the midnight caller, a reminder that some terrors never truly fade away.